everyone. In this section, we introduce the operation procedure of 200 and CTMC Series PLC as Modbus to master to communicate with commissioning assistants. New project. Set project name and storage path. Insert PLC site. Select PLC type and set site name. Establish communication with PLC. Open the block and call the Modbus master library command. There are two Modbus master libraries. Under the library instructions, one library for the port 0 port and one library for the port 10 port. Just call the library command for the port, which is used for Modbus communication. Here, the RTU port is used for communication. Drag and drop the commands under the library directly into the editing area. This block is used to set port 0 as free port and set Modbus communication parameters, checksum, and timeout. Both pins need to be triggered by SYN 0.0. Baud rate support setting range is 1 to kbps, approximately 115 to kbps. This sets the baud rate to 19,200. Checksum supports no checksum, odd checksum, and even checksum. 0 is no parity, 1 is odd parity, 2 is even parity. This is set to no parity. Followed by completion bits and error codes. First needs to be triggered on the edge. Once triggered, a read-a-write is performed. This corresponds to the slave address. This sets the read and write operation attributes. 0 is read, 1 is write. This sets the slave data address to be read-a-written. Note that the slave data address needs to be converted to the corresponding Modbus address. This sets the number of parameter reads and writes. This sets the address where the read data is stored, or where the data is written to the slave. Use the pointer to point to a starting address. Followed by completion bits and error codes. There are still read-a-write operations to be performed. Oh, just keep calling the read-a-write block. Note that when multiple Modbus read-write blocks are used, polling is required to trigger the operation. Only one read-a-write block can be triggered at the same time. The completion bit of the previous block can be used as the trigger bit for the next block. The following opens a program with a polling operation written in it. Polling initial conditions. Polling trigger for read-a-write blocks by VW30 at different values. VW30 value toggled by Modbus read-a-write block completion bit. This is the initial polling condition, must be placed after the last read-a-write block. This block sets the baud rate, and checksum just keep the same as the slave. This polling procedure is to read the data from slaves 40,001 and 40,002 to VWO and VW2. The read data is then written to 40,003 and 40,004. And read data from slaves 00001 and 00002 to V100.0 and V100.1. Then write the read data to 00003 and 00004. Download the project and run the PLC to monitor the master-slave data interaction. The monitor can see that the read-write block is already polling for reads and writes. Using the debugging assistant as Modbus to slave, configure the data areas to be read and written by the slaves, as well as the starting address and the number of data areas. Setting communication parameters. Monitors the master-slave data interaction in the status table. Procedures for communicating with the commissioning assistant. As a Modbus RT, you master on APLC of the CTH200 and CTMC series. The above is all. Thank you.